Hey everybody, what's going on? Harley Q here, and this is a new little series of mine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to break down a series by prices. Now, depending on when you're watching this, the prices will be different. They fluctuate. They're not always the same. So right now we are filming it in October of 2020. Hopefully no one's getting too bad of flashbacks from 2020. We're going to pretty much just go through a particular series, and we're going to break down the prices of them. And we'll discuss stuff. I got this idea from a fellow viewer. I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. I want to try and pronounce it, but I can't read. It's a miracle I'm alive. Anyway, so we're actually going to be doing Animal Crossing. We're going to start with Animal Crossing. If it's not obvious, I really like Animal Crossing. I feel like I've mentioned that several times. It's definitely one of those series where you can definitely see, you can break it down pretty easy. So we'll start with the first of it, and we'll just kind of follow the timeline up with it. So yeah, let's just start. So the first one we're obviously going to start with, and I actually have it. I finally got it! This is a spoiler for this month's monthly pickup. But yeah, I finally have Animal Crossing for the GameCube. A fellow viewer and person that I watch on Twitch, they knew somebody who was looking to get rid of it. They knew I wanted it, and we came up with a deal and it all worked out. So I am so happy I have this. Everything's great. Yeah, I got this for a pretty good price. But we're starting with this one. It's actually the player choice one, which means it's not as valuable. But to me, that really doesn't matter. I've mentioned that before, like greatest hits and things like that don't necessarily bother me too much. The only time they bother me is if this was player's choice and then the inside was a different or the original one. I don't like the mixing and matching of them themselves, but like if it's player's choice, that really, the yellow label doesn't necessarily bother me too much. The same thing with PlayStation, the red label doesn't really bother me too much. However, if you're trying to save money, this is an easy way to do it. Buying the greatest hits or player choices of things, they're generally a little cheaper. So yeah, if you get the one that is not player choice, currently on pricecharting.com, the price says it is $57.78. The player's choice one, however, I believe is pretty similar. So the player's choice one is $54.82. So I don't know about you, I would like to save a few cents. I would rather just buy player's choice. The game's still very sought after. A lot of people really want Animal Crossing, so highly recommend picking it up if you see it anywhere. If you see it out at a yard sale or at a thrift store or anywhere, definitely pick it up. Generally, GameCube games are pretty safe to pick up no matter what, especially if it's only 4. You definitely want to get it for that because a lot of these only 4 games didn't come out on any other system moving forward. So definitely recommend, picking it up. I've actually have a video on the GameCube talking about specifically that in general. But yeah, so this is where it all started, at least in America. You could make the argument that it started on the N64 in Japan. However, we are talking about American-based games here. So yeah, this goes for about 50, I'd say just, say 55 to be safe, about 50, anyway, $50 to $57 for this if you want this complete in-box. And I actually have the memory card. A lot of the ones that you see on eBay, they'll say it's complete in box and doesn't have the memory card. What's his name? Rover? My camera's gonna focus. I'm pretty sure his name's Rover. You think I'd know? There we go. So yeah, I think his name's Rover. I'm pretty sure it's Rover. Yeah, this is a really nice copy of it, and I'm very excited to have it. I'm actually definitely gonna play this at some point. The next one that we're gonna look at, this is actually my favorite Animal Crossing of all time because I have the most time in this one, is Wild World. Wild World, this was the first Animal Crossing game I played, and oh man, I have so many hours in this. I actually probably have more hours in this than I do have in New Horizon. This one, complete in box. Let's see, if we look on price charting, according to pricecharting.com, this sells for $19.72. That is the retail value. So I'd say fairly, probably gonna buy it for like $20 if you did see it. And I think it's worth every penny because this game is amazing. This is the copy that I've had since I was younger. When did this come out? 2007? 2005 was close. So yeah, 2005. I've had this since 2005. Oh, such a good game. I love it so much. This is probably one of my favorite games of all time. People are going to tell me that New Leaf is way better, and there's people that still are playing New Leaf today, but man, Wild World is where it all started for me. I just love it. I love it so much. So yeah, the next one we're gonna look at is actually New Leaf. Speaking of New Leaf, this is the one that came out in 2013. I want to say 2013. 2012, 2013. Good. I got a good memory. I have so many hours in this one too. This is a really solid game as well. On pricecharting.com, this one goes for $16.59. So I'd say $17. Goes for about $17. Generally is what you're gonna pay for this. This one, you'll still probably find copies of New Leaf at GameStop. At least the cart you'll find for, you know, pretty cheap. So you might be able to get it there or get it online. I don't normally see the DS versions, both this and Wild World. I don't ever really see these on the marketplace. I feel people really hold on to these ones. And they really don't want to get rid of them, so they hold on to them. But I have seen people post the GameCube one quite a few times, and I have seen them post City Folk a few times, but I've never seen them post the DS ones. Those ones I generally don't run into. I really don't run into that many DS games, both the original DS and the 3DS. I don't really run into those on the Facebook Marketplace. I run into them in the wild all the time when I'm out yard sailing and at thrift stores and things like that. But I never see them on the marketplace. And if I do, it's usually like the shovelware stuff, the stuff that nobody really wants. It's very rarely actually stuff that I want to buy. So the next one, I actually don't have this one. I had it, but I don't have it right now. I believe my sister has it, is City Folk. So it was City Folk. Right now on price charting, it goes for $18.44. So probably anywhere between, you know, $18 and $19 it goes for. And that's complete in box. Loose, it's like $16. I should probably be saying the loose prices too. Alright, so City Folk loose goes for $16.92. Loose for Animal Crossing, if you want, for the GameCube, if you want it without the Player's Choice, is $30, $29.99, let's just say $30. And Player's Choice is the exact same price. It's kind of funny. And then Wild World Loose is $10.99. So the box itself is actually is probably worth about $10. And that's because there is literally so much. There's so much that come in this manual. So you have all of the DS warning stuff, and this, I'm gonna put that up, I want that out front. But yeah, you have all these things. So make sure when they say complete in box that it has all of the inserts in there, because sometimes it'll just have like the manual or whatever. Make sure you have the DS stuff too, otherwise technically it's not complete in box. I don't care, but there are gonna be people out there who care that it says complete in box when it's not complete in box. So that's just, you know, things that you should know while collecting. Generally, it really doesn't matter to me. I just want the actual manual. That's the most important part to me. The inserts about health and safety or whatever are just kind of there for me. They're not really too important for me. It really is. Just like, look at the artwork for that. It's so stinking cute. Like, Animal Crossing's the best. I'm sorry. Definitely my favorite game series that Nintendo has is Animal Crossing. New Leaf loose would be $14.71, and then the complete in box would be $16.59. There's not too big of a price difference between the loose and the complete. I would rather just go for the complete. I don't like having loose cartridges for the DS. I obviously have some just because it happens when you're collecting, but I like to have the actual cases for them. They're safer, it keeps them protected, and they're very hard to lose. Or harder to lose. They're not, you know, impossible to lose, but it's much harder to lose this case as opposed to, you know, this tiny little chip here. I already spoke about City Folk, so we could talk about some of the... I'm not really going to talk about the Nintendo Powers because those aren't necessarily games, those are magazines, so we're not going to talk about those. We can talk about the systems themselves, though. I'm just going to talk about the price for the system itself, not the complete in box, because I feel like not everyone keeps their boxes. I kept my box for my Switch, but that was because it's the Animal Crossing Switch, and it's adorable. The price for the 3DS one, this is why I got the Animal Crossing Switch, was because I couldn't get my hands on this 3DS. So we have the 3DS that came out with the release of Animal Crossing New Leaf. 3DS XL. That's a mouthful. And the loose price is $180. I think the original price for it was like $200. I actually don't remember what the retail price for the Switch was, or for the Switch, for the 3DS was. So, yeah, that's $180. And the complete price is $214. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm already here, so I just said it anyway. Yeah, so the complete price is $214. I don't know how they determine the difference between complete. I guess it comes with the box. I don't know. It's just interesting to me because sometimes you look at what the complete in-box sales are and it just shows the system. Sometimes it shows the box. I don't know. Price charting is a little weird when it comes to filtering out the game sometimes and stuff that they count as whatever. But it looks like it has to have the box with it. I would rather just get the system. I don't necessarily keep boxes like that. I do have some of my boxes for stuff. It depends what it is. I have my 3DS box. I just happen to keep it for my white and pink one that I bought because I couldn't get my hands on the Animal Crossing one. And yeah, I remember buying that DS. That DS is as old as the Animal Crossing game because I bought it the day that Animal Crossing came out. So, and I love that DS, but one day I'm going to get this Animal Crossing DS one day. And then the next one, the game we'll talk about, and this is Happy Home Edition. I actually don't own this one either. I knew it was coming out, and I knew it wasn't technically like it's Animal Crossing, but it wasn't technically an Animal Crossing game, so I didn't get it because it wasn't like Animal Crossing. It was kind of like a side game for Animal Crossing, and I mean, I'll get it at some point, but Happy Home Edition is, right now, it's loose, it's $10.12, so probably like just say $10, and complete in box is $11.87. So I'd recommend going complete in box with that one, paying the extra whatever. You get something to protect your game in, and it's really not that much more money. Sometimes the price between a complete in box and a loose, I understand why people would buy loose, but for this, the monetary value difference isn't that much, so it's not really worth it. One thing I forgot to mention, which is I'm now seeing right now because I'm a goober. With Animal Crossing City Folk, there was two options for it. There was just buying the game itself, and then there was with the Wii speaker, which was the only way to communicate with people when they came to your town. I don't really know why you'd want that because I don't think it's the technology supported anymore, but that price for that is $16.46 loose and $21.42 complete in box. So if you wanted to have the Wii speaker, and I think this was the only game that it was compatible with, it would be $21.41. I'm just gonna throw it out there. You're probably just better off buying the game itself. I mean, I guess if you really want the Wii speaker, I'm sure. I say that, but I know that if I was out in the wild and saw the Wii speaker, I would get it too. So I should just keep my mouth shut. So the next one is everyone's favorite Animal Crossing of all time. Like, people just can't get enough of this one. It's Amiibo Festival. Now, obviously, I hope you can note my sarcasm when I say that. So for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, this particular one, this is the bundle. And this was the only one you could get, this guy here, whose name it just left my mind. Digby, it says it right there. Yeah, the only way you could get Digby, they said, was to get this edition. Now, I bought this, I think, for like $20 on eBay, and it's not even worth that much now. So this one, right now, to get it like this, which is unopened, it's still sealed, is $15.62. So like $15 for this. I paid $20 this time last year. It's adorable. It's such an adorable box. I really didn't mind spending that much money. Even now, I would probably still spend $20 on this just to have the Isabelle and Digby combo. They're nice to have. And it just sits on a shelf. I'm eventually going to make an Animal Crossing corner because I have so much Animal Crossing merchandise that I definitely could make an Animal Crossing shelf. No problem. But yeah, this was not a very good game. Not a lot of people liked it, so I believe this is going to be the cheapest one that you're going to get. Loose for the Amiibo Festo bundle is $5.70, and complete in box would be $6.92. Just say $7. It's $7 for this. However, if you buy just the game itself, which you can without the amiibos in there, it's $5. Loose, $6. Complete in box, it says $6.18, but I'm saying $6. And the new price would be $12.50, so like $12, $13 for that. But I feel like if you're gonna buy Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, if you're gonna buy it new, you're better off just buying this one, because at least it's a cute little display thing. And you get the amiibos. I feel like this is more of a bargain rather than just buying the game itself. Again, it all depends how much money you have to spend and if it's going to be worth it for you. And it depends if you're actually a fan of Animal Crossing. I am a fan of Animal Crossing, so as much as people hate on this game and don't like it, I think it's so cute. I really do like it. Maybe I'll buy another one just so I can unbox it and play with it. I might just buy the game itself and not the actual... I don't know. I kind of want to see how bad it is because I didn't have any experience with it because I heard it was dumpster fire, so... Okay, so... we are now at New Horizon, which is the latest installment for the Nintendo Switch. Now, it should be kind of obvious. You can still buy this in store, so obviously the new price is probably $60, or definitely $60. I'd be shocked if it was more than that, or less than that. Yeah, it's funny, on pricecharting.com, it says the new price is $48.43. The complete in box is $43 and a penny, and loose is $42. So, I would recommend just buying it new for that, with the prices being so whatever. I guess it all depends on whatever your preference is. There's really not that big of a difference. You can still buy these at Target they'll have them at Target, but they'll probably sell them for like $60. I'm assuming for Black Friday there'll be sales for them too. I don't know what the price is going at GameStop though, but online the prices are about a little bit over $40 for these, so no matter how you get it. It is worth it though. This is a very solid game, and they're still doing updates to it, obviously. It came out in March, and people really like this. They really like this game. I really like this game. I have a whole video showing my island, which I should probably update. So, I guess the only other thing I could talk about, really, is the Animal Crossing Switch itself. You can see I have Animal Crossing in there. So this I obviously got when it came out. It was $300 or whatever the retail price is for Switches. I paid that. It's so cute. Look at that. It's so detailed. Let's see if the camera's gonna focus. Focus! Focus on me. There we go. It was there for like there we go. So yeah, you can see how detailed it is. It's a really nice system. So I paid $300 for it. However, it's saying that right now this Switch new is worth $625. Complete in box is $465, and loose is $430. I'm gonna say that that's not true, at least for in the States, because right now they just re-released the system. So I was at Target this past coming week, and I was actually in the game section looking for a Switch game, which they actually didn't have. But they had Animal Crossing systems. They had 3 there. They had at least 3. So I'm assuming that you can still get your hands on one. I just checked online. There's a couple websites that still have American versions. So if you want an American Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch, you can get your hands on it still. So I'm going to say $300 for new, and it's probably going to reflect differently on eBay because people are still trying to sell it for a lot. I would say that if you have the funds to get one now, get yourself the Animal Crossing Switch right now, because at some point it is going to sell out again. There's no way it wasn't. There was way too much hype for it. I just wish they re-released that 3DS one, because I definitely would have bought that. I still need to purchase that at some point. Whenever I have an extra $180 laying around, I'm definitely going to buy that 3DS XL. There is one other system I didn't mention, which I will mention now, is another Nintendo 3DS XL, which came out for Happy Home Edition. I also don't own that one. That one is actually more expensive than the other 3DS one. So this one is for the new Nintendo 3DS. It's, again, for the Animal Crossing Happy Home Edition. The loose price is $192, and the complete in-box price is $242. So this is another one where I would just recommend buying the loose price, unless you really want to have that box. The price difference is, to me, way too much. Generally, I recommend buying complete in-box. If you can afford it. I understand if you can't. I've kind of mentioned that before in this video, but like game collecting can be so expensive sometimes that, you know, if you see things, you just kind of have to get them, you know, and it's, you know, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. It's as simple as that. And if you just want to have access to these things, go with the cheapest route. That's kind of the whole point of my channel anyway. So that's pretty much the video, I think. I started with Animal Crossing because it seemed like a very easy franchise to work with. Generally, all of the games aren't super expensive. There's a couple, like obviously the newest one because it just came out a couple months ago, and obviously the first edition. Generally, the first appearances of anything tend to be the most expensive. You'll notice that with books, movies, comic books. You'll notice that with first editions of generally everything are the ones that are generally sought after. Especially when new games come out, people tend to get nostalgia for the other games, so the prices of those go up. You do actually see a correlation with those prices, with it going up, and the release of Animal Crossing, the new Animal Crossing. Interesting part of that, though, is you could make the argument that the prices were going to go up anyway because GameCube prices jumped during the whole pandemic. So, again, whole video on that. Just saying. Yeah, that's pretty much the video. I still have to get some of, I love Animal Crossing and I still don't have all of the Animal Crossing games. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Is this a series that you'd be interested in watching? Would you like to learn more about game prices? Because this stuff fascinates me to talk about. Like, I really didn't realize how close some of these prices were, both loose and complete in box, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by the price of some of these games. I didn't think that Wild World was going to be that expensive. I actually thought it was going to be cheaper, and that New Leaf was going to be more expensive, because I know a lot of people still love New Leaf, and a lot of people play that when they can't afford to get a Switch. I know that was one of the big dilemmas. A lot of people were playing New Leaf because they didn't have access to a Switch. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It helps out a lot. I think people keep saying that, so I assume it does. Make sure to subscribe. Yeah, you should probably go follow me on Twitch because I talk about Animal Crossing and video games and all of that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. One other thing I wanted to add, I literally just forgot and I realized just now. If you want to watch an amazing channel that does a lot of Animal Crossing island tours, you should definitely check out my good friends, Jaybee and Millie. I have done a lot of collabs with them on their channel, and I just want to shout them out because they do so much work for me and they send so much people over to me, and they talk so highly about my channel, and I need to talk about theirs because they're incredible people. And they do some really nice stuff. They do a lot of Nintendo stuff, so if you really want to meet two awesome people, you really got to go see them because they're amazing and I love them so much. Anyway, that's been another video. So now I'm going to say bye for real this time. Bye, guys!